Hello, I'm Vanessa Gamp, your president of San Francisco's Association of Realtors. And today I am joined by Neal Corkery, who is the chair of SFAR's Forms Committee. How are you doing, Neal?
I'm doing really well, Vanessa. Thanks. How are you?
Well, I'm actually pretty great because I heard that there are two new forms being issued by SFAR, the Broker Compensation Advisory and the Buyer Broker Compensation Addendum. So maybe you can help us out and let us know why these forms are being released.
Yeah, we do have two new forms being released. So these forms are being released in response to the proposed NAR settlement agreement to make it explicitly clear to all parties that commissions are negotiable and that there are options available to both buyers and sellers on how commissions can be paid.
Well, that's great. Maybe you could fill us in. What does the Broker Compensation Advisory do?
Yeah, that is the big form, and it does quite a few things. So first, it explains what a commission is, really basic concept. It reminds the parties that commissions are negotiable, that that compensation agreements have to be in writing. It lays out common ways that a seller's broker is compensated through a listing agreement, that the amount of compensation a seller has to offer a buyer's agent is negotiable also. It makes clear that the buyer's broker may, unless otherwise agreed, offer any amount of their compensation to the buyer's broker, including zero compensation. It explains that a buyer's broker may be compensated by the buyer, the seller, or I should say, the seller's broker. It lays out a method to compensate a buyer's broker who has entered into a CAR buyer representation and broker compensation agreement. That's the CAR BRBC form, by using the seller payment to buyer's broker or CAR SPBB form. For use with our San Francisco purchase agreement, you can use the broker compensation addendum, which is being released also. And it makes clear to buyers and sellers that they can consult with their respective brokers if they have questions about the forms or about broker compensation in general.
Okay, great. All of that makes good common sense.
Mhm.
What does the Buyer Broker Compensation Addendum do then?
So it allows a buyer who has entered into a CAR BRBC to request the seller pay their obligation to buyer's broker as a term of the contract, so making it a condition of the contract. But it's important to understand that this is only binding if both parties agree to it.
Ah, good to know. Okay, so should I be using these forms with everything, including listing agreements or purchase agreements that are already signed?
No, we recommend that you only use these forms in new transactions going forward. The buyer compensation advisory and the addendum, if they're appropriate in your transaction, should be provided at the same time that an agency disclosure, the CAR Form AD, is provided to your new and prospective clients, or sooner.
So business as usual for those.
That's right.
All right. So when exactly can I start using these forms?
Great news. They are available now. So you can log into your preferred forms vendor and start to use them right away.
That's fantastic. So what if I or another agent had more questions? Who can I contact?
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be a common one. So we always suggest that you first consult with your own broker or manager. They should be your go-to for these sorts of important questions. In addition to that, SFAR is holding a virtual town hall meeting next week on Wednesday, March 27th at 11 a.m. And finally, if you have additional questions, you can reach out to us at the Forms Committee by sending us an email to forms@sfrealtors.com.
Very helpful. As always, thanks so much, Neal.
Oh, my pleasure, Vanessa. Thank you.